Okay, a little bit of story time and a little bit of a message that has been coming through lately. Hi, I'm Marissa. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I am a channeler and I honestly just love sharing experiences with you all. So I remote view a lot of things, I channel messages, and this is more of just my own personal spiritual experience and share in hopes that it helps you. That's what my podcast was all about. And I kind of miss just sharing in that way. So here we are. It's this idea of where are you preventing your own dreams from occurring? Where are you preventing yourself from accessing your own dreams? Story time. So I was just on my yoga mat. This literally just happened. I was just on my yoga mat and I was stretching and I had this overwhelming, I put on flute music and that shit goes crazy. Like if you want to go on a journey, bro, put on some flute music. I'm talking like Native American flute music. Wow. It is so powerful. And so I put that on. I'm stretching intuitively, just moving into the tight, intense areas of my body where I've been holding energy. And I got this overwhelming grief. And it's like, I am so sorry, body, for holding you back from what it is you've been wanting to experience, which is movement, which is this life force. I've been distracted. I think I know, but I have not been listening to you. And it was just this full surrender and this full moment of opening, and just all I could hear in my head was I am so sorry, body. I am so sorry for holding you back from your dreams. I'm so sorry for all of the times that I have been in the way of the door, the access point to what I'm capable of, to my, what I deem my mission or what I've received. We stand in our own ways all the time. And it was just this overwhelming realization of all the places I've done that. And this full body, visceral moment of release that occurred through this grief of, I'm sorry that that's happened and I'm ready to change. And if you know me, I run cold, and this does relate. So I run cold usually. I have really cold feet and hands, and I have the heater on in 80-degree weather. I'm crazy. So, but I had this knowing come forward. It's I run cold because I don't allow myself to tap into my own heat. And that can be a metaphor and symbolism for so many areas of my life and, humanity, right? We don't allow ourselves to reach the access points of the things that can actually be solutions in our lives or can benefit us, or we get comfortable and we're scared of our own power, of our own heat, of our own fire, that we remain in these states of stagnancy because we don't know how to turn it on. We don't know how to ignite it properly or maybe even utilize it. And so then we distract ourselves, or we look the other way and we choose to remain how we've always been because it's easier that way. And I don't want to do that anymore. I'm so sick of doing that. And it's easy. They've literally created systems, they being, the powers that were, they create systems to keep us trapped, to keep us comfortable and from expanding. But I feel like I had this full-blown just awareness in this moment come forward around all of this, and there's so many layers that unlocked that I like the human language cannot describe what it is that I experienced. But in human terms, it was like this forgiveness towards self, but this confession towards self as well, and this apology and this forgiveness and this compassion. And I was just weeping, and as I was weeping, I shifted into what is the yoga position? Haven't taken a class in a long time. Haven't took a class in a long time. It's the one where child's pose. Duh. Okay, child's pose. So I was in child's pose, and it was just this full surrender, and I could feel ancestors just taking this energy off and like essentially like unwiring the program that has prevented me from accessing the dreams, accessing who I want to be and how I want to live, and like removing the patterns and the habits of all of that. And I'll dive into that a little deeper later on. But I was just arriving to this altar, and I saw my higher self was there. And as I was like walking up, I was just raw, and it turns into like, we're turning into mind's eye visuals here. I'm like walking up to this altar, and I'm raw, and like all of these women and these ancestors, and it feels now in hindsight just versions of me in other lifetimes who had made it to this point, this like altar point, this level of initiation. It literally just felt like an initiation arriving to this point. They were holding me and blessing me and welcoming me. And as I arrived, I just let everything fall away. And then I was left with my higher self. And as the women were, just taking things off of me, I started to see these wings in my back begin to like be uncovered and activate. And it's like, if you've ever seen a bird hatch, it's like when the bird comes out and it's like all slimy and stuff, and so it like opens and its wings, and it's all like crimped, and then it slowly starts to just like unravel. And in that moment, my higher self said, "Rise, child." I was like, okay, I'll do anything you say. And so I like sat up from child's pose. My eyes are closed. And in that moment, I knew like I'm the only one who can open my wings. I'm the only one who can open my heart, who can open my field, who can open all that I am, that can open the potentials and the possibilities of my lifetime, can open everything. And in this moment, it was wings. And I felt like avian energy coming through, like so many different lifetimes, all like streaming in. And I started to like raise my arms. And as I was doing so, in my mind's eye, I was seeing these huge wings like begin to open. And then I brought my arms up further, and light was pouring in, and I brought it into my heart. And then I was just like blasted open. And it was just this knowing of like, totality, wholeness, everything that is, everything that we are capable of is possible. And it was just this beautiful moment. Like I said, human words cannot describe the feeling. And then I saw this golden eagle, like gold energy started to come in. And this golden eagle it was flying high in the sky around me, and it started to circle down and circle around me, and then it stopped right in front of me and was like the same size as me as I'm here, like knelt on the ground, wings open, and it like touched its beak to my third eye, and I was like encoded with these ancestral like eagle codes, which was so cool. And it's just, this like knowing that I am held in everything that I do, and my dreams are possible because I say they are. Period. Like, because I choose to take the step towards them. I choose to fly towards these dreams, towards the excitement, towards the inspiration, towards whatever it is, knowing that I'm held. I am limitless and choosing to operate in my totality and limitless nature. And that was really, really beautiful. Like, eagles can fly anywhere because they want to. They can. And so it was that kind of energy. And then I found myself going into the core. My higher self led me into the core of my solar plexus. And we brought out my core, which was like a luminary light. And this luminary light, really fun visual here. She had me squeeze it. And like those like squishy balls in the mesh where you like squeeze and then like these little air pockets pop up. That's literally what happened. And so I would squeeze my core and this like ball would pop up. And it was all of these expectations and these limits that I've placed over myself that are getting in the way. These are the areas that I had created and chosen to consent to that are getting in the way of my life, of my experience, of my dreams, of what it is I can do for myself. And so probably like 8 to 12 came forward. So we had a lot to clear. And so I picked them off each time and I dropped them. And when I dropped them, they shattered on the ground. I'm a very visual person. So I love that type of visual. And then we encoded, she started to encode, and I was encoding and saying things out loud, like the truths that I know are present in my life, like a lot of positive affirmations and, other things like you are powerful, you are the creator, you are filled with inspiration, dreams, and creations that come true. You have this massive potential and you utilize that. You act in divine timing. You are always divinely guided. And I was just speaking all of these truths into the core of my being that I wanted to infuse there. And she was encoding and infusing these beautiful core essences as well. And we replaced it in the solar plexus. And originally it was like underground. Like if my solar plexus was a field, we like went underground to find my core. And when I replaced the luminary ball in that place, it like expanded and lit up this like whole beautiful like cavern thing. And then I came back out and I was at a cliff's edge, and the cliff, I just immediately had this knowing everything that ever was and everything that was behind me on the cliff. And as I was looking forward, it was just open space. And it was a choice of, okay, like you've been initiated, you've been blessed, you have these memories coming in, you've reached this point. Are you ready to like live by this now? And of course I said, yeah. And so I jumped off the cliff, and, took that moment in fully for what it was and what it represented. And I like spiraled as I fell. And at the perfect time, my wings like snapped open and just carried me on. this beautiful wind, and the golden eagle was with me too, flying. And it's just, oh gosh, these visual meditative journeys are so much fun. They're so cool. And they are incredibly impactful because, in my opinion, I think the places that we access in that meditative state are 100% real. They are other planes of existence. They are us interacting with that like dream state. And they are in fact, symbols and metaphors or real experiences that are helping you to release, to activate, to remember all that you are. And I didn't mean to, plug myself here at the end, but it is good timing. So this is what we do in my quantum tune-up sessions. I lead people through hypnotic meditations that involve and coincide with things that they wish to change in their lives, or things that they wish to see, versions of selves that they want to be, releases. It's essentially something like this. And it's very, very powerful, the shifts that can happen when you can visualize yourself like this and really move through the releases that occur. So I'm just going to do a shameless plug there. I wasn't intending to do that, but it worked out. I felt it pop into my head. But essentially, just the core of this video is really asking you, where are you holding yourself back from your fullest potential? Are you scared at all of your own power? Where are you dimming your own light? And where are you choosing to look the other way when the access points to what it is you've been dreaming of arrive? Looking at my notes. Yeah, like, where are you afraid to be seen? Where are you afraid to stand in your fullness? This is what's coming up for us because all of our limitations are being released right now. And it's beautiful too with the summer solstice energy that's coming forward, this divine light that we are returning to. There is this major ability for oneness coming in, for this frequency of divine union, not with others, but with yourself. And I saw this other channeler talk about, Elizabeth April, talk about, she had a conversation with Jesus, and she was saying that he said, that, there will be a judgment day, but we're not going to be judged by God. We're being judged, or like, we're not going to be judged on how much we read the Bible or how much we, show up and meditate every day or blah, blah, blah. No, like, it's this judgment day of how much do you actually love yourself? It's you judging you and then realizing it. And it was this, just really beautiful message around like this judgment occurring, but it's not, how did she say it? Go watch her video. Give it a like. It was a really beautiful message. And it was something in regards to that where, we are being judged by ourselves, and it shows, all of these people that are doing horrible things in the world. It just goes to show that they have no love for themselves. And so where are you finding that your love for yourself is low? And how can we bring that back to self and really foster that connection to self? Because you're the one living here. You're the one that chose the human experience. You are the one that is creating your reality. In case you didn't know, you are the creator. So let's tune back into self, tune back into our bodies, and really claim that shit. Claim that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. Much love to you. You can book one of those quantum tune-up sessions on my website at earthtomarissa.com. And yeah, follow along for more stories and more experiences. And yeah, beautiful. Okay, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.